I am Hema. I'm a very passionate education researcher. So my mentor and my students have been asking me to create a video series on the research that I do, the techniques that I use, and the results that I'm getting. So here I am preparing a video series. So what I'll be doing throughout the video series is focus on the child development. So main discussion is going to be centered around the child, and we'll be focusing on the development. So throughout the video series, we'll be discussing on who are the influential factors in the child development, like what parents can do for the child, what teachers can do for the child, what his or her friends can do for the child, what she or he himself can do for the development, and most importantly, what exactly is development and what can be done to the current education system so that the current education can be tweaked a bit so that we achieve more than what we expect from the system. So if you see the current education system, it is excellent in providing the basic set of skills to the students, basic set of knowledge to the students. But if you see, the whole focus of the current education system is basically on career building. And from the moment the child is born, he or she is being prepared for a career which he or she is going to acquire 20 years down the line. So whatever knowledge that is being provided, the question is it sufficient? If you see the world now, it is changing tremendously at an exponential rate. So whatever knowledge that we had yesterday may not be useful tomorrow. So that is the rate at which the current world is changing. So what are we doing in the current system? We are providing them whatever knowledge has been acquired till date in the hope that this will be useful for them 20 years down the line to build a proper career. And so the question is this knowledge sufficient? So are there some other skills which can be useful for the children so that he or she can develop themselves to suit themselves to their present world to be a successful career person or to be a successful human being? So what are such versatile skills? How can such versatile skills be developed within the framework of the current education system? That also will be discussed. So if you see the current system as well, the main focus of the current system has been to, at least from a government side, if you see, the main focus after independence has been to take the primary education throughout India to the masses. So there were a lot of acts like right to education, and there were a lot of public schools which were set up and private schools which were set up. So we are pretty much successful in taking the primary education throughout the country, or throughout to the masses. So but the question is, so whatever has been government parts, it is being executed very properly. Whatever teachers can do, they are also doing it very properly. But then what is the receiving part? So receiving part, if you see the current statistics, if you see, there are a lot of students. So I have been interacting with a lot of students, like thousands of students. So I've seen a lot of students, majority of students who are not even thorough with basic operations of maths or the basics of science, or for that matter, they don't even know how to write a proper answer in their 10th standard. So that is like a 16 years of age. So but still they do pass their exams with very good scores. But so what is happening to the students even when such a quality of education is provided to them? So if you see, whatever is being given is given properly. But in order to get the output, the receiving side should also be proper. So what about the receiving side? So there are a lot of factors which influences the receiving side. One still major factor is the teacher. So teacher is kind of the medium who transfer the education which is being provided by the system to the teacher. So to the students, I'm sorry. So this medium still plays a very, very huge role. So if the teacher is very good, then automatically the quality of the education is going to be very good. But if the teacher is bad, then the quality is again going to be very bad. So how can we, so if you see, there are huge number of teachers, because with such a population, automatically you will need such a huge number of teachers. Obviously, you cannot expect all the teachers to be at the same quality. It takes a lot of experience, a lot of training in order to scale up the quality of the teachers. So what can be done? Even if the systems are providing a lot of training to the teachers, still that the quality which is expected from the system may not be achieved to that scale. So what can be done in order to dissociate the quality of the system from the education system? Actually, there are a lot of techniques. With such a huge advancement in the technology, it is very much possible to dissociate the teacher quality from the education system. So that also we'll be discussing on the throughout this series. And another factor which influences the receiving part is the motivation of the students. So what should motivate them to study? If you see, we don't know why we are studying maths. I am interested in biology, then why should I study maths? I don't even want to know about the history, then why should I study history? All the students ask me this question. I don't want to study. See, if you see, students are learning trigonometry and integration, differentiation in their 10th standard, in around the 10th and 11th standard, 12th standard. But if you see, they never see a person who is applying that except for their mathematical teacher. So the common jobs don't require such kind of training like integration or differentiation or trigonometry. So if they ask their teachers, they'll be given the answer that, okay, maths is the most important subject. You are supposed to score very good marks. Only then you will be able to get a very good career. If they ask their parents also, they'll get the same answer. But they have never seen their parents or teachers apply trigonometry or integration in their daily life. So it is very natural that the students get this question. Unless it is very important for their own survival, it is a natural, or there should be an inborn passion for a particular subject. Only then the students will be able to give that kind of energy for receiving, right? So they are not provided with a proper answer on why they are studying what they are studying. Even history is also another major concern. So majority of the students complain about maths and history, social studies. So they are not given the proper answer. So we'll be discussing on these answers as well throughout the video series. Another factor which affects the receiving part is the curiosity of the students. Like, see, if a vehicle has to travel, then that requires a fuel. So if you see the education system, if you are supposed to receive in a very beautiful way, then the fuel for that is the curiosity in the students. In case there is a huge amount of curiosity, the teachers can provide whatever they can. It will be, it will be like a huge basin which can never be filled. You can provide them with any kind of knowledge, with all kind of knowledge, with pleasure. But systematically, we are destroying the curiosity in the students. We are not encouraging them to ask questions, weird questions, the questions which we cannot answer, in order to explore, in order to have that kind of adventure in the students. We are not encouraging them. So what can we do to do that? Of course, there are exceptions, that there are some teachers who actually ask questions which will trigger the mind of the students, or actually encourage the students to ask such type of questions so that they can explore more. And another factor which is stopping them from receiving is the fear of making mistakes. If you see, there is a huge dependency. Still, there is a huge dependency on the mark. So in case the child does something wrong, obviously the teacher's mind is going to be like, he will not get marks for this, and she will start scolding. Then the student is going to be scared again to do the same mistake. So, but the huge problem is that only if he does mistake, only if he keeps on trying after doing the mistake, will he be able to correct it and score good marks. But what happens in between? The teacher scolds. Then automatically there comes a fear. Automatically he will stop trying. Then what happens? He will be weak in the subject. So at many stages, like in 4th standard or 5th standards, in case he is not good with plus and minus and he does a mistake, the teacher scolds and he or she stops trying plus and minus and into and division. Then there is a gap. That he does not know plus and minus. Now when he come to 7th standard, there is algebra. If you see, you have to be thorough in addition in order to get algebra. but then he is terrified to do that as well. Now he is making a lot of mistakes in algebra, and he thinks that he doesn't know algebra. Now if you come to 10th standard, there is trigonometry where you use the concept of addition, deletion and all those things along with the algebra in some cases. But what does he think? He doesn't know algebra, he doesn't know multiplication, addition, and he'll think that he doesn't know trigonometry for that matter. So now a huge gap is created in between. It is very difficult to fill this gap unless that fear of making mistake is overcome. So this fear of making mistake is very, very deep rooted in our society as well. The schools are running behind marks, the teachers, the parents, everybody is running behind the marks. So there is a tremendous tag which is attached to the mark about success. So how can we change this? How can we remove the fear of making mistakes so that the students can explore and have the feeling to improve, everyday improvement? How can we bring in that feeling to the child so that he or she receives more out of the education system? So that is what we are going to discuss throughout the video series on the child development. Hi, thank you, and I really do hope that you all support me by watching my video series. Thanks.